In this week's adventure, I was heading to the Brecon Beacons in Wales to hike the famous Four Waterfalls Trail. En route towards the trailhead, I was even lucky enough to come across this group of wild horses. A couple were even friendly enough to let me give them a quick pat on the nose before I carried on my way towards the trailhead. A few winding roads later and I arrived at the car park for the Four Trails hike. The parking costs £6 and that's for all day, and all money goes towards the conservation of the waterfalls, so it's definitely money well spent. After tying up my shoes and slinging on my backpack, it was time to set off towards the trailhead. The trail itself is roughly 9 kilometers in total, and it's described as a moderate difficulty, which I would agree with. I put a link to the All Trails guide in the description below if you ever fancy giving it a go yourself. At the start of the trail, you follow a winding woodland path with evergreens all around you, and if you're lucky enough to have a bit of sunshine like I did myself, you'll have the soft sunlight filtering through. It feels incredibly peaceful, just you and the trail leading deeper into the landscape. I've done this trail once before in my lifetime in the summer of 2023, and while it's nicer to have the warmer weather, I have to say I preferred the winter, having the trail basically all to myself for the few hours that I was there. After 20 minutes or so of walking through the trail, you reach the first waterfall. It's not possible to get right up close to this one, but it's still an incredible sight, especially because all of the rain that we'd had recently, the water was gushing down with a real force. I spent a good 10 minutes here taking it all in before setting off towards the next waterfall. The walk from the first waterfall to the second is simply beautiful. There are bridge crossing clear streams, stepping stones over shallow water, and wide open views of woodlands and rock. Throughout the whole hike, I maybe passed 5 or 6 people in total. The solitude made it even more peaceful, and to me, even more enjoyable. This time of the year, the trail is so much quieter, and I would definitely recommend heading down for this trail on a sunny winter's day if you get the chance. After a steep walk down a long incline, I arrive at the second waterfall. Going down was fine, but I knew I'd feel the climb back up later. At the bottom, the waterfall revealed itself in all its glory. I had the area mostly to myself, so I took the moment to make a cup of coffee, sit back and enjoy the tranquil sounds of water and birdsong. It was one of those peaceful breaks where everything just felt perfect. From the second waterfall, the path to the third was a short, gentle stretch, only about 5 minutes or so. The terrain opened up and the views changed again as I continued deeper into the valley. And here we are at the third waterfall of the day, and to me this was easily the most spectacular of the three so far. This waterfall has 3 distinct layers, each cascading into the next. I took my time here, wandering up the hill alongside the falls so I could see each layer from a different angle. It was one of those spots that really draws you in, and I spent a good while just taking it all in before I began the climb towards the 4th and final waterfall. The uphill sections of this hike definitely get you out of breath, but they are manageable, especially if you take breaks and just enjoy the surroundings as you're going up. From the third waterfall, I made my way further up the path, winding between trees and rocky outcrops as the trail led down again towards the 4th and final waterfall of this hike. After around 20 minutes of hiking, I finally reached the 4th waterfall. Without a doubt, this was the highlight of my day. It was the most impressive of them all, and even though there were a few people around, I still managed to enjoy plenty of quiet moments to myself. What makes this waterfall extra special is the fact that you can go right up to the falls and even go behind the curtain of water, which I'd never done with a waterfall before. I got completely soaked doing it, and it was freezing, but that only made it more memorable. It's hard to describe in words how incredible the feeling of going behind this waterfall was. But what I can say is if you do choose to do this hike, make sure you go behind the waterfall, because it was one of the most incredible experiences of my life so far. A couple more trips behind the waterfall and eventually it was time to make the walk back to the car. Definitely a tougher return, especially after all the ups and downs and being absolutely drenched, but it was well worth it for the experience. The hike I took is linked in the description if you want to try it yourself. While it's quieter in the winter, which I'd recommend if you like having the place almost to yourself, I'm sure it's just as beautiful in the summers too. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this type of content, a like would be very much appreciated. And I'm still looking for my first ever subscriber, so if you're feeling generous, hit subscribe and I'll be forever grateful. I'll see you on the next adventure.